So today, guys, the theme of today, we are going to hear from two ladies who are absolutely on fire right now. Mindie, Dillon, she is number 32 agent in sales in the entire world for for all of Globe Life right now this year. And Brandy Graham, they both got back from FHLA 201 last night. And Brandy just had her best sales week ever of her career last week with over 18,000 of NAP. So Brandy went on the verge of being ranked up to number 79 in the nation, just with one big monster week, guys. One big week can really make your year and really get things going. So we're going to hear from these two ladies. And the first thing I'm going to ask these ladies, this is going to be like an interview style kind of meeting. I want you two ladies just to talk real quick about some things that you learned in FHLA 201. Just one or two things, some takeaways that y'all learned in FHLA 201.
You want to go first, Mindie?
Yeah, that's fine. Good morning, everybody. We had a great time in McKinney this week. We got to do all kinds of fun stuff, learn from a ton of different people. It's always nice when the agents get together from all over the country and just share knowledge, because it's not just, I don't look at it just like we're getting training from, the Ken Matson and Craig and Rob and all of them, but I look at it like we're getting knowledge from other agents in our company. So it's really cool to get together and just kind of share what works for everybody, and little tidbits. Something that really hit me while I was there is something that they said, and it says, make your people unhireable. So as you're recruiting and you're field training everybody, you want to train them so well that, you make them unhireable, that they enjoy what they do and that they're out there every day doing what they love. And if they love what they do, they're going to become unhireable. They reach that pinnacle where no matter what another company offers them, they're not going anywhere. So as you're field training, think about everything that you've learned that you wish you would have learned in the beginning, and make sure that you pass on that knowledge. I think that's a great thing to be. And we went over recruiting a lot. We concentrated very heavily on recruiting in order to build your business. We all know that we're in this to build our businesses. So just a few things that they touched based on that I really liked was, we all get asked, is this a commission-based job? Do you get paid by commission? One thing they said was, when you're asked that question, don't use yes, but, yes, however. Turn around, look at them and just go, we get paid so many different ways. And have you ever been in control of your income? It was fire when they said it, and it just made a ton of sense, because it kind of takes that commission question off the table, because then you can, you pass them on to your agency owner, to Van, to Kyle, to, your market directors, and they can go into that further. But to get them in that door, don't talk about commission, don't talk about their pay. Just, we get paid in so many different ways, because it's true. We don't just get paid commission, we get paid bonuses, we get paid this way, that way. So we're not telling them an untruth. We're just telling them that, hey, we get paid different ways. Another one, we all have cancellations. We get calls after a few months where we get a cancellation, and I had one last week, who's had his policy for months. And I think if I would have had this information in front of me, I probably could have fixed that, and I might just go back and see. So when it comes down to it, do your follow-up, your 30-day follow-up with them after they get their policy packet. And when you sit down with them to do that follow-up, guys, have them pull, when you're looking over that policy packet with them, have them write on there in their own handwriting what this policy meant to them, what they really liked about the policy. Make sure they write it out on the packet. If you haven't given them their return of premium written down on their papers, make sure even still write it on the policy packet, so that if they call you to cancel, then guys, tell them, hey, can you go grab your policy packet for me? Well, can you tell me what you wrote on that policy packet? Then they're going to come back and they're going to remember exactly why they wanted that policy, the exact reason. It's in their face, along with that return of premium, guys. It really will, from, everybody that, brought this up. It really does work. Keep your cancellations down. It gives them second thought, and that's what you need. If you don't, as you're recruiting out in the field, this works every day, trust me. As you're recruiting out in the field and someone says, when you ask, hey, who do you know who wants to make, 40 to 60,000 their first year, as you're going into all that, guys, if they have a name, but they don't want to give you a phone number, say, hey, why don't you just send them a text, include me in that chat. And it kind of opens up the gateway between you and them. So that way you're not waiting on them to talk to someone about this job, about this career, but you're actually opening up that communication between the person who's referring you to them, as well as the recruit that you're trying to get. So it's just a few little tidbits, when you're recruiting your people and training, just keep in mind that the longer they stay, the more that they're going to see the benefits of this career. On to you, Brandy.
Wow.
That was hot. I don't know if I can go behind that. So we definitely learned a lot, and it was a pleasure getting to be with everyone up there. Here's the thing. 53% of the recruits that we get are personal recruits. 7 out of those 10 are your top producers. Think about Mackenzie Buck, Dillon Buck. So, our company, really prides itself on who do you know personally that you can help change their life. Think about this. We all went to a business where someone was just diagnosed with cancer, and we kind of go from feeling this tall to this tall because we're like, God, if I'd have just been there a month earlier. We need to duplicate ourselves. I know that when I first started, I kind of thought it was and I would say possibly may still have a little bit of selfishness, but because I was like, well, I don't want someone going into my area selling on top of me or, whatever, but there's not enough of us to go around. And a lot of us, this business has made a difference in our lives. So why would you not be open to sharing what you do to first help more families, but two, to change their lives? I mean, Mindie's life's changed. Everyone that's on this call, your life has changed for the better. It may have not hit that top point yet. We had Brad as a guest speaker. Brad went from making, $50,000 a year to, I'd say, a couple $100,000 a year. It took time. One thing too that Mitch McKinney said when they were all telling us everything at the end, don't focus on what everyone else is doing. Focus on what you're doing. And it's so hard because when Voxer is a positive, and sometimes it can be a downer for you. I'm just going to be honest, but you see someone dropping thousands of bombs and you're like, well, what are they doing? Why can I not do that? You don't know what they may have had set up. But focus on what you're doing and focus on what you're doing right. We got to hang out with Suri Ruiz. Okay. She's number one. She's selling $300,000 a week at times. Her number one thing was I work 12 to 14 hours and I just focus on my family. She's not chasing gap. You can see it in her eyes. When you look in that woman's eyes, her eyes are not conceited that she has all this money coming in. Her eyes are that she's working hard for her family and she's helping families that need what we need. And that to me was just, sometimes when you think about meeting someone who's selling all this premium, like they're going to be kind of conceited, not want to talk to you, kind of like a famous person. They're not, that really was one to me. And when you go back to recruiting, a lot of times when we may get a mass recruit, someone that's sent to us, they may say, well, is this full commission job? And like Mindie said, you kind of like, oh, I don't know how I want to answer that. And some people say, well, I've done this before. I'm really not into a commission job. Well, ask them 3 questions. Okay. First of all, was the product no good that you were selling? Okay. 2, did you not get good training? Or do you just not like talking to people? Okay. Our product's great. Okay. we're going to train you as best as we can, as long as you're giving us as much effort as we're putting into that. And that's another thing, we have to set very clear expectations when we're bringing someone in. I'm going to put in as much as you're going to put in. If you're not going to go to work and work like you're supposed to, I might not be giving you my time, because my time's valuable. And that's one thing that I still struggle with after 2.5 years, is valuing my own time. My time's going to be a lot more important to me now. But do they not like talking to people? If we're talking to someone and they're like, I just don't like talking to people, they're probably not a good fit for our job. But if they love talking to people, and if you're at a restaurant and their customer service is just on fire and they are really they're giving you the best customer service, ask them, have you ever thought about just being handed a check that was signed and you got to put the amount of money on there? Whoa, that's kind of like, nope, never thought about that. Well, guess what? In this job, we're going to sign that check and you're going to put how much money you want to get paid on it. Because in reality, that's what we do.
Wow. Holy
Out
smokes.
some heat,
We could
Brandy.
end the call right
Yes.
there. Yeah. Ladies, y'all crushed it. And but wait, we have more. That was just the first question. We got more. That's unbelievable. I had a whole page of notes, and I like those 3 questions, Brandy, that you got. I've actually heard Michael Casco say that before, so I'm glad that you were able to say that. Was the product not very good? Did you not get good training? Do you not enjoy talking to people? That's a good way to kind of get off the commission question. And Mindie, wow, I have a lot of notes on you as well. We get paid so many ways here. Have you ever been in control of your income? That's a good way to divert that question. And making sure that you train them so well, you make them unhireable. I have never heard that. That is liquid gold. So, hey, next question for y'all ladies is, this is actually for you, Mindie, first. Is, lately you have been upping your sales since last year, and you were right on pace to win the I Dare You incentive. And we'll just kind of go over real quick what's been helping you produce at a high level. What does your schedule look like, and just your daily activities?
Well, Kyle, I make sure that, I try to make a plan every day. On the days where maybe something's come up the night before. I do have 3 kids that tend to take my attention when I do get home, but I do try and make a plan. When I do make that plan, I stick to it. Every day I go out and I try and work at least 8 hours. I make sure that regardless of what's going on around me, that I get my 6 demos in. I am very consistent with my 6 demos. And I think that's really helped me, because I'll go out, and even if I have to do a quick demo for someone who's really busy or, something like that, I still make sure that I get those demos in. Because I know that as long as I'm getting my demos in, the results will follow. I learned that very early on. If I was willing to work hard and make sure that I kept getting out there and kept working on getting that next demo, that eventually something's going to follow through, something's going to come through. So just keep focusing, on the demos. I'm almost about 6 months in now, and I still make sure that my demos are getting done. I know some days it's harder than others. Me and Brandy have had a couple of days where we're maybe focused on a certain type of business. Like when we went to daycares, that day was extremely hard to get 6 demos in. A lot of daycares aren't really letting you in the door, things like that. When I trained Alan Wiley, when Alan came and worked with me, when I wanted to make sure that he could see me getting those demos in. So when one thing wasn't working, I changed it up and I started working on something that I knew would work. And, I just kept getting those demos in. So that's very important. I really am demo focused. So I think that's important, getting your 8 hours in, getting your demos in, and the rest just follows.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much, Mindie. Lots of good takeaways there. And yeah, you did. Whenever Alan went up and followed you, he has been producing at a much higher level, because he saw you go out there and work an entire full day, guys. That is so important. The biggest thing that somebody needs to see you do is work the system as train somebody the way that you wish that you were trained, right? So that's the way to do it. And thank you for sharing that. Let's go to Brandy Graham. So Brandy, you had your best week ever last week. You sold 18,000 in premium. So just, we want to hear some tips. What helped you have such a good week, and what did your schedule kind of look like last week?
So I set myself a very specific schedule. I made sure last week I had a good week lined up. And I want to, and just so, because there's a lot of new people on here, guys, I've been here 2 years and 4 months. I just finally hit over 15,000, and I finally am getting that pink shirt from Kyle. That was huge to me, because that was one of my goals as soon as I started. That was what I thought I was going to be able to do my very first week. Mindie is definitely making me, I got to keep up with Mindie. But just, I had my week lined up, and I really focused on, I'm here for a certain amount of time. This is either going to make sense for you or it's not. No big deal. Listening to those podcasts, Amberly Kessler, focusing on really the class method. I mean, I try to listen to that literally once a day, because that's so important on what we do. And for class, that's just if you go into a business and they say they have Aflac, that's fine, because that right there tells us that they're buyers. They see a need in what we do. A lot of times I would stick my tail between my legs and kind of, oh, you got Aflac? Well, we do things better, and just blow off a bunch of stuff that you didn't need to do. But really last week was just getting my head down and really just doing what I needed to do to help protect families. My goal was I think it was 15 families that I was able to help, was just to honestly, to prove to myself that I could do it, because I get kind of down when I see CJ, knowing what CJ's doing. I'm telling Mindie, you got to get CJ, like, like, we got to beat him. We got to do this, but just not so. And of course, Mitch, when he said, don't focus on what everyone else is doing. And I'm the first one who's, what are they doing? Are they in a big enrollment? Questioning that. Don't question that. Go in there to a business with a purpose. Your purpose is to help protect their employees during the most difficult times of their life. Walk into that cell phone shop. That might be a single mom whose child could get very sick. And just, Kyle, I don't know. I'm trying to answer this question the best as I can. I didn't necessarily hit the hours that I had planned myself for last week. But I had a plan. It's what someone says that, proper preparation prevents poor performance. Go research. If you've worked with a business, there's no time frame that says it's good to reservice them. I mean, if you, like Mindie was saying, where people get their policies, revisit them. Oh, in 25 years, you're going to have 25,000. That's going to be your 25th wedding anniversary. I'm sure your wife would like to take a trip to Mexico. Put that on there, Mexico trip. And then when they go to cancel it, oh, you said you were going to go to Mexico with this. Do you really want to, cancel this policy? But just, be patient. Sometimes the enrollments. So one of the enrollments I had last week was Rainier. When I look at my sales rabbit, I approached that business over a year ago. And I got the corporate objective, and I went back and I talked to the owner, and he said, well, or not the owner, but the main manager, well, let me talk to so-and-so. Then when I went back again, I was like, oh, I've already talked to Ryan, but Jeff, you're the new manager. And he's like, Brandy, I don't think no one's going to do this. They're not going to see value in it. And I was like, let me be the decision maker on whether they see value in this or not. I don't need you to do that. And I went in, and I still have half the employees to go see this Friday. So I didn't get to even see half of them. So don't give up on a business just because they tell you no one the first time.
Yep. Just because somebody says no doesn't mean no forever. It means no for right now.
Right now.
Things change, guys. People see their employees get diagnosed with cancer, or somebody gets an accident, or their best friend unfortunately gets diagnosed with cancer, and it changes their mindset completely on what we do. So things like that happen all the time. So,
and that not right now also goes into recruiting. You may be trying to, like Michael Casco was approached quite a few times before he ended up wanting to come work with us, guys. It just may be that right now it's just not a good time for them. But if you constantly are dripping on them just a little bit, there's a guy that I've been after that's a Kia dealer, works at a Kia dealership. Jim knows about him. He's bilingual. The amount of families that he can help is ridiculous. Right now, it's not. And another thing too, we talked about this. We meet big companies and they're like, well, I have this bonus, like for real estate agents, car dealers. The reason that they give them these bonuses and tell them they can't have them for a couple months is because they're holding that as leverage over their head to keep them where they are. Well, guess what? They can come work with us, and probably that bonus that's being held as a leverage over their head, it's probably something that they can earn with us within a couple months. So that's another thing to think about that I didn't before.
Yep, totally. Thank you, Brandy, for sharing that. That's some really good nuggets. Lots of good takeaways there. And one thing that you said that I heard, I think you said, Mitch said this, is don't focus on what everybody else is doing. Focus on what you're doing. Focus on things that you're doing and things that you're doing right. So, hey, so we're going to flip this one more question, and then we'll open up to the audience if they have any questions. I know it's already 8:30, but this is really good stuff. So, Mindie, you have been crushing the field recruiting game. You've got two ladies that are going to be starting with us within the next 2 weeks. One just passed her exam yesterday. So, Mindie, talk about your field recruiting. What do you say to somebody out there in the field, and where are your recruits coming from?
Well, the two ladies, the one that passed yesterday and the other one that I have in the works, that's actually rescheduling her exam. Those are personal recruits. I actually used to work with both of these ladies. And it actually kind of falls into a personal recruit and a happenstance recruit that we learned about this week. Because one evening I was getting my nails done. Just something as simple as that. I hadn't seen one of the girls for a while, and I went and sat down right next to her, and we just got to talking. Guy, there's a question for everybody that in your life that you get asked at some point in time when you see somebody. Hey, what are you doing now? Just that simple. I know I've asked it a billion times when I haven't seen somebody for a month or longer. So when they ask you that question, tell them about what you do, folks. Don't just tell them about a job. Tell them about this career. Tell them about this family that we have joined. Tell them about the good that you get to do. So don't focus on the money. Don't focus on the schedule. Focus on what we get to do and the blessing that we get to be for everybody. So, and that's what I did when I talked to Selena. And then she was like, well, Candace, who passed her exam yesterday, she was like, well, I think she would really want to hear about this. And I was like, you know what? She probably would. She works really hard at what she does. So I reached out to Candace. So I'm not just reaching out to family, friends, but I'm also reaching out to old employees that I used to work with. And when I'm out there field recruiting, I just ask someone clear as day, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Who do you know that wants to make $40,000 to $60,000 a year? What do you like about your current job? And are you looking for an actual career instead of just a job to get by? That's a big thing. There's a lot of people, they have jobs just to get by. People are looking for a career, something that they can do the rest of their lives. So keep that in mind as you're going out there and talking to people. And like Brandy said, just because they say no right now, keep communication open. I'm not saying blow their phone up every day about it, but keep communication open because you never know when that time might be.
Another thing really quick
that is awesome.
too, is, a lot of times they may say, like what Mindie said, well, what do you do? Well, hey, let's schedule time and let me show you what I do. You may possibly protect your friend, but another part, you may possibly change their life with a new opportunity.
Boom. Yep. What do you do? I'll show it to you. Get coffee with them. You'll probably get them protected and get a recruit out of that as well. Thank you so much, ladies. And just one little, very, very simple question, and then we'll open up to the floor. What is y'all's goals? I know that we have the mid-year meeting coming up in Dallas in July. Where do y'all ladies want to be at that point?
Well, for quarter two, I set my goals. I really want to do 75,000 next quarter. And I want to get 5 recruits. I really want to work on getting 5 recruits by the end of next quarter and having at least 3 of them trained to standard. So that's what I'm working towards. I'm working towards building my team. So, and I'm hoping to, go out there and do just as good as I'm doing this quarter and keep it going.
So mine, Kyle, is 65,000 for the quarter, 3 direct recruits and 2 trained standard. Because I also know that as Mindy team's growing, I'm helping her also.
Love it. And everybody on the call can do that too. So that's the crazy thing, guys. Minnie's been here 6 months, and look and see what she's done here so far. She's recruiting and selling at a high level, guys, and anybody can do it, right? So we change lives. So you guys, I'm going to open up to the floor. If there's any questions or comments, any takeaways, I'm going to leave it open to you guys.
Hey, Brandy, it's Todd. I'm super stoked about where you have come from and where you are headed. Your growth over the past, year or so has just been awesome, and it's just good to hear the passion that you are, that both of you guys are talking about. So congratulations, welcome back, and I look forward to seeing where this thing ends up for you guys.
Thank you, Todd. I'm gonna come to Wilmington soon and work with you.
Thanks, Todd.
Oh, please.
Show them how to do it.
Again,
Hey,
show me how to do it again.
It was so good.
Hey, I just want to throw something out there, because it's something that way too many people struggle with and just don't do, even though we talk about it a lot in final interviews and all that stuff, and we get that commitment from folks and all that. But there's a common theme here, it seems like. Brandy's been chasing 15 grand for a while. And Brandy, I'm proud as hell of you for smashing that last week. Obviously, you and I have talked a good bit about that. But y'all, you know what Brandy did to ensure that she had a successful week? She planned her week out. She prepared for it. That's something that so many people just don't do. They're not preparing for their weeks. They're not putting in the activity. That's all it is, y'all. When you put in the activity, things happen. If you're not putting the activity, things don't happen. And it's as simple as that. Do the activity. Go out there. See people. Y'all own what you do. I talk about this all the time. Any agent that's in my organization, we talk about this all the time. Own your value. Know your worth when you walk into a business, and know that you are doing them the favor of walking in. Stop feeling scared or nervous about walking into businesses. You are doing them the favor of walking into their business. They just don't know that yet. And you got to own what we do, y'all. I mean, we help people through the hardest times of their lives. Own that. We're the #1 supplemental insurance company in the country. Own that. Walk in with pride and confidence, knowing what we do for people. And plan your weeks out. The activity. And he's only been here for how long? 6 months, and she's crushing it. You know why? She puts in the activity. She goes to work. She does the job, and as a reward, she gets paid very well for doing so. So y'all, anybody who's crushing it in this business, they put in the activity. It's as simple as that. They plan their weeks out, and they stick to the plan. There's 2 key ingredients to a successful schedule, y'all. Number 1, plan your week out. Number 2, stick to your plan. It's as simple as that. It really is, y'all. And so many people make this career way too complicated, and they overthink it. Just go out there and do what you signed up to do and what you committed to do. And if you do that, great things will happen. Great things will happen. So Brandy, proud of you. Mindie, golly, super proud of you as well. Super excited to see what y'all do when you come back. And let's rock and roll.
If anyone also, I helped Erica last week when we were in the mountains with Sales Rabbit. Some mornings if you wake up and you're like, God, I don't really know where I want to go. If you want to message me, I'll get on Zoom and kind of show you how to use Sales Rabbit to your benefit and planning a route. And at least hey, I got these 25 businesses that I'm going to. If nothing else, that's going to hold you accountable to make sure that you at least go to these 25 businesses, and it keeps you out in the field instead of going home.
Hey, Brandy, can we just have you maybe do that either next Wednesday or Thursday?
I can do next. I can do next Thursday. Wednesday, I have BNI.
I think 50% of the people on this call would benefit greatly from a little tutorial. At least.
Okay. Yep. I'll put it on my calendar.
Awesome sauce. Which day did you say?
Next Thursday.
We have a guest speaker next Thursday.
Okay.
We have Austin Ice coming in next Thursday already, but we can do it any other day.
Yeah,
but not Thursday.
We'll figure it out. Is he coming into North Carolina?
No, he's our guest speaker.
Okay.
The young stud.
Cool. Maybe we can do a combined call next Tuesday. Just have everybody, the leaders that are normally on a different one, just hop over and be on this Zoom right here and just do it for everybody. I think that'd be kind of cool for us to see.
I'll jump in real quick.
Right on.
Mindie, Brandy, congratulations on your success so far. And I forget which one said it, but focus on what we get to do. That speaks volumes. And there's no surprise that you guys have the momentum that you do right now, because you mentioned the amount of studying that you've been doing, listening to podcasts. And, you know, these calls, for example, it's easy to roll out of bed and go, 8 o'clock, I gotta be on a Zoom, and, you know, what for? It's like, there's not another business out there that every single day we're going, hey, here's how to run the business. This is how you do the business. This is how you become successful and multiply yourself. And I don't think there's much to piggyback on Brad, but, you know, he's right. The schedule. There's no secret when you look at Voxer. And if you're motivated by what you see, or if you're kind of scared, if you almost want to delete the app, well, guess what? You haven't done enough activity. All right. If you don't see bombs drop by yourself for a while, that is because you're either on vacation, quarantine in Mexico or something like that, or you just have not shaken enough hands yet to put something on the schedule. Sundays, and I'll be honest, I have those scary Sundays, whatever you call them, that I know that I did not set up enough. And that Monday, that's why we encourage Monster Mondays, is to set up the rest of the week. But when you look at your schedule and it kind of fires you up, okay, now you're cooking with gas. And it's obvious you have momentum, and it's just, you know, keep focusing on what you're doing. And I love the abundance mindset. There's enough to go around. And guys, I think we are in a business, and I think it took some of us longer to realize it, but sales in general back in the past was very backstabbing, stay out of my turf. But nowadays we have products, and we have people, power and people and numbers that I really think we can multiply ourselves over the next couple of years, double. And it's just exciting that we get to see new blood like Mindie. You know, that fires me up. Brandy, seeing what you've done. So kudos to you gals, and yeah, keep it up.
Thanks,
Right on,
Zach.
guys. So we are going to end on that note.